I'm going to go with Greg and with the developer because it's probably a combined question. It seems to me that the question raised was, will the right-of-way interfere with the bike trail, or will it conflict in any way or endanger anyone on the bike trail or people using it? Does it come close to it? Is it parallel to it, or whatever? The second part of the question is parking. Can the developer restrict parking, and the idea that police couldn't ticket anyone because parking on that, say the residents in the building do park along the right of way. How is that going to be handled in the agreement that makes up the right of way agreement, or otherwise? Maybe I'd like to have some comments on that idea of parking on that right of way, which would obviously restrict it or make it difficult, and the second one is how it works with the bike trail. So either one of you.
Well, I can start on that. I mean, clearly there's details that have to be negotiated. The railroad, although they're clearly interested or open to the idea of allowing a driveway right-of-way for this development, they have their own interest as well. Certainly they're very supportive of the trail or continuing it, as obviously the town would be. I see that there's going to have to be a three-way negotiation here between, well, at least three-way, between the town, the railroad, and the developer about how this may work. I mean, if we go to the west, to go to Harborside Drive, it gets quite narrow there. So how could that be dealt with? There's things to work out. If it goes the other way to the east, those problems are not the same problems, or there are different problems there because we don't have a long-term lease with the Nova Scotia Power. So what happens if that fails? So there's things to be worked out here. They're going to take some time, and I guess that's why there's an alternative in the agreement, that if that can't be worked out, then you'll have to go with a two-way driveway. I mean, clearly there's benefits for all parties, and a chance that maybe things can work out with a northern exit, but at the same time it may not work out as well. But the agreement has the driveway has to be acceptable to the engineer, which is the town engineer Kevin Kerr, which he would look at all those issues that have been brought up about access, parking, and so on. And who knows? It could wind up that the town has a lease and controls a right of way that's used here. We don't know yet.
How about the parking?
Parking on that driveway?
Yeah.
Well,
residents park on.
Well, clearly it has to be an access that's viable. And if there are people parking on it that make it unviable, then it violates the agreement. There is no northern exit, and so we could take action through the agreement to correct that. Even if we didn't actually control the driveway through some other negotiation, he wouldn't be fulfilling his commitment if it's not available.
I have a building where I have precisely the same thing, an entrance on one side and an exit on the other. If any tenant or non-tenant or whoever it is parks on there, one phone call and they're out. Clearly, my tenants will have to be able to use the driveway. If anybody parks on there, we'll sign it, and if they park on there, they'll only be parking there once. So it's as simple as that.
Actually, if I could just add to that, because some of these questions are very operational, and I don't know how they're coming within the development agreement. But just like Chris mentioned, that in a case where you have a building with a development agreement, and it's a private building, and people are parking or blocking off those areas, you'd expect that the landlord or the owner is acting on it. So we have pretty stringent rules and regulations that we have set up to maintain that. And if our existing building is a witness, We've had 0 towings, we've had 0 blockages, we've had no issues so far. And you know, we're into 8 months, 9 months into our operation. So obviously, we do think we're doing something right, and we hope to implement the same type of thing here from an operational perspective. So.
Thank you. Councilor Brennan?